Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2020 Primary Forum, hosted by Texoma Marketing Media Group. We're the proud publisher of the Herald Democrat and the Van Alstyne Leader. We'd like to first thank our partner, School Bellies, for providing the space for tonight's event, and Cadence Studios, who's providing a live broadcast of our event for the community. We'd also like to thank Professor Felix Harcourt from Austin College for agreeing to be our moderator this evening. We ask that those of you that have questions that you would like to submit, please get those written down and passed to one of our staff members in the next few minutes. We have to have time to go through them and moderate them and to vet them. We reserve the right to combine questions or discount questions based on repetition and or time constraints. We're delighted tonight to welcome candidates from the 2 contested Commissioner Court races and 1 contested constable race. The Herald Democrat feels very strongly of the free and working press in America, and to provide its readers with the information necessary to participate in that bedrock action of democracy, where voting for local candidates is key. As former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tip O'Neill once said, all politics is local, and that is certainly true of the races that will be discussed here tonight. In furtherance of our goal of providing our readers with the information they need, the Herald Democrat and the Van Alstyne Leader will publish a voter's guide this weekend and next week in the Van Alstyne Leader that will include some biographical information about our local candidates who participated, and also head-to-head questions answered by the candidates for the contested county races. I would like to extend my sincerest gratitude to the staff of the Herald Democrat for making this event possible tonight. We can give them a hand. I would specifically like to thank Sinead Future Brown, who's the executive editor of the Herald Democrat, and Ms. Lisa Ferguson, who's the newly appointed managing editor of the Van Alstyne Leader. We can give them a hand. But my right-hand man in this event would be no other than Ms. Gary Wiley. Gary is a key person at the Herald Democrat, a confidant, and somebody that I trust. Please, if we could please give her a very loud round of applause. Enough for me. Now, if we could please welcome the Grayson County Judge, Mr. Bill Majors, up to lead us all in a prayer and a pledge of allegiance.
Nate has got me on task to make sure I'll go too long. You notice I got the prayer and the pledge. All right. Please join me in our invocation. Lord, we want to thank you for this opportunity to gather. We want to thank you for this county of Grayson, the state of Texas, and this nation that allows us to worship you freely and openly. And Lord, we want to thank these candidates who are making their commitment to serve our folks here in Grayson County. And finally, Lord, we want to ask your blessing on those that are attending and watching online. Be with them, Lord, and help them to ascertain the truth of all that's said here. All these things we ask in your name. Amen. Amen. Please join me in the pledge of our flags. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. All right, Nate. They told me to put this on my iPhone. That's there it is. So, first of all, I want to tell you our moderator is an AC professor. I was an AC student who was a heck of a lot smarter than I ever was, right? That's the first thing. That's not nobody's surprised by that. I know. So I want to introduce Dr. Felix Harcourt. Will serve as our moderator of this forum. He is an assistant professor of U.S. history at Austin College. He holds a BA, that's a Bachelor of Arts for those of you, make sure you know. From the University of Warwick, a Master of Arts and a PhD from George Washington University in Washington, D.C. So with that, Dr. Harper, come on, you have the floor.
Please try to control your enthusiasm. Just in case it throws anybody off, yes, I am English, and yes, that makes me the perfect non-partisan candidate to take part in this. So, I'm going to kick things off by asking our uncontested candidates to come up one after each other to take 2 minutes to introduce themselves. Even though they're not in a contested race, we want to make sure they still have the chance to be seen and be heard. So I'd like to ask Larry Phillips, please, to come up and introduce himself to our audience.
Good evening. It's great to be here with everybody to kick off a great opportunity to find out about our candidates. I'm running for the 59th District Court Judge. I've had the pleasure of serving in that capacity since May of 2018 when the governor appointed me to that position. And then that following November, I was elected to complete the final term of that election by the voters of Grayson County, and I appreciate that. And so now that was a 2-year term. Now I'm running for a 4-year term. And thankfully I'm unopposed. That's the best way to run always. Not that I've always run unopposed in the past. The 59th District Court is one of 3 district courts we have. We handle felony cases, and we've had some very interesting cases since I've been there. We handle CPS cases, very heartbreaking cases since we've been there. Handle family law cases, dealing with family law matters and juvenile matters, and then civil cases, and that's civil disputes between parties and companies, and tax matters. So we're a very busy court. All 3 courts are. I enjoyed the opportunity to work with the other district judges, Judge Fallon and Judge Gary, and then also our county court law judges, Judge Henderson and Judge Seidman. They've been very welcoming and encouraging me in these first 2 years. And I've enjoyed the great honor of working with Sheriff Watt and Brett Smith, our district attorney now, and working to see our community really be at the forefront of engaging on mental health issues. And that's something that I'm committed to do. And a part of that is that I continue to Judge Null, my predecessors, a very important recovery court. And in that recovery court, we have those that have, are really in a step to go to prison for a long time because of substance abuse. We put them on a very strict routine. It's harder than probation. and we watch over them, and to see the success of them when they get delivered from the addiction and understand that their life is going to be changed. And it's the neatest thing to be able to see that. It takes work, but we're committed to do that. I appreciate everybody's time out here tonight. I know we want to get to the contested election, so thank you very much. God bless everybody. Appreciate you.
If Tom Carter.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tom Carter, Constable Precinct 1. I'm in my final year of my first term, and I've recently filed for my second term, and I'm also running unopposed. And I greatly appreciate your vote. I've got 41 years of experience in law enforcement here, mostly in Sherman, Grayson County, and through this year being in this. When I went to come to constable, everybody thought, what's constable do? I don't know. But when I, and now I have people, can you arrest people? Can you write tickets? Yes. The hardest thing that you do as a constable, and there's 4 of us in the precinct, and 4 precincts in the county, and the one thing to do is when you go out to evict someone, or evict a family with children, you've got to be able to do the job and keep it on a personal level, and it's a hard job sometimes. But I've enjoyed it. I enjoy doing it now, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it for 4 more years, I hope. And I won't take all your time on that because I think we're here for the other candidates. But I appreciate your vote, and I thank the citizens of Grayson County for supporting. Thank you.
And we have a third candidate not listed on our program. So if Brett Smith could step up, please.
Good evening, everyone. You got a good turnout tonight. My name is Brett Smith. I'm the Criminal District Attorney in Grayson County. I was appointed initially by unanimous vote of the Republican Executive Committee to fill a vacancy by Joe Brown. I'm honored to have that done. And then the Commissioner's Court subsequently came in and put me on in office as the interim DA. I was elected, and now I'm up for re-election. I'm uncontested as well. The Grayson County Criminal District Attorney's Office has a great staff. We continue to do great things. We work with law enforcement hand in hand on a daily basis. We're constantly improving what our office does, and we're going to continue to constantly improve what our office does to ensure public safety. And like Judge Phillips mentioned, we have a good working relationship with all the district judges, the county court of law judges. We're working on making sure that we do the right thing for the right reasons. And I appreciate your support, and I want to thank y'all for coming out tonight.
So we're going to run in the order on the program. I will briefly introduce the candidates as they come up. They will then have 2 minutes each to introduce themselves, and then we'll start some questions. We have some prepared questions from the Herald Democrat, as well as questions from the audience. I want to let you know and to remind the candidates that we're working on a strict 2 minutes for your answers, and then a 1 minute rebuttal. And I will hold you to that, just so you know what So, we're going to hear first from our candidates for Precinct 1 Commissioner. Jeff Whitmire is the Commissioner for Precinct 1 in Grayson County. Before being elected to that post, he co-founded Whitmire Container in Sherman and served as president of that organization until it was sold in 2007. Jeremy Roberts is a Sherman native who owns and operates 93 breweries. If elected commissioner, he intends to plan for future growth, improve roads, and fight to keep the tax rate low. Please welcome Jeff Whitmire and Jeremy Roberts. Mildly honest.
I may be a bass player, but that's not the. Who do you want to go first?
Mr. Whitmire, lead us off as it comes.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Thank you to Herald Democrat for this.
We live in exciting times here in Grayson County, and I love being a commissioner. I think we do great things. And I say we because this is not we don't operate vacuum. It's not a singular person. I have a team at my precinct barn that does a great job. We get a lot of road work done, much more so than they used to do in the past. And I will put them up against not only anybody in the county, but any other precinct team in the state. We further have a great team with our commissioners court. We're getting a tremendous amount done every week that goes on. There are many issues that are coming up related to the growth that's going on, and our having to deal with issues like that. And we all get along. We back each other up. If somebody has to be out, we have that ability to serve with one another. And we've got a great county judge leading the way, being supportive of us as well. On top of that, we've got a team that's the full county, all of our elected officials. We have a great relationship with each other. Our oversight of the county officials is simply a matter of head count and budgetary oversight. They run their departments the way they see fit, and we try to give them the flexibility that they need under the proper budget constraints. And finally, we have a team, the county, dealing with our local cities. There is hardly a week that goes by that one of us doesn't have an interlocal agreement going up with one of our local cities, whether that is to do some road work, or some economic development issues. We serve those people. The residents of the cities are county taxpayers as well, and we want to make sure that.
I am Jeremy Roberts, and I want to real quick introduce my lovely wife, Natalie. Raise your hand. We have two children, Champ and Cecilia. Champ said, "I'm not coming tonight, Dad. I'm tired of hearing you talk, and you're boring." So he stayed home with Grandma. I've got my father, Gary Roberts, and my mother, Regina Roberts. And I want to thank y'all for coming out tonight and supporting me. Little bit about me. I was born here in Sherman, Texas in 1979. I've lived in Grayson County just practically my whole life. For those of you that don't know, my wife Natalie and I started 903 Brewers. In 2012, we sold our first beer in 2013. Never in my wildest dreams did I think 903 Brewers would grow and be as big as it is. For those of you that don't know, we're statewide Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. And towards the end of last year, we got picked up by an online beer store that sells our beer in 47 different states. A little bit about what we've accomplished at 903 Brewers. In 2017, we won the Texas Rural Challenge, which was Small Business of the Year that was recognized by our great Governor Abbott. In 2015, we won a silver medal at the Great American Beer Festival, which is the largest beer competition in the world. And we did it again in 2018. We won a bronze medal at the Great American Beer Festival. The last 4 years, we medaled at the U.S. Open Beer Championship. And this last year, we took home a gold medal. I'm so proud of my team. One of the things that I compliment and I talk about is it's not about what Natalie and I have done. It's about our employees. It's about giving them the resources, the tools, the training, the things that they need. And I cannot be more proud of what they've done. And you should be proud as well, because, you know, what we've been able to accomplish at 903 Brewers, we've been able to put Sherman on the map. Last year, we had around 50,000 visitors. And you should come up on a Saturday and see people come up from San Antonio, Houston, Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth, Oklahoma City, and Tulsa. And I'm really proud of what my team has been able to accomplish.
Thank you very much. This first question is for both candidates. Mr. Roberts, you can lead us off. What role do you believe county commissioners should play in local economic development?
Well, you know, they need to play a huge role in it. You know, one of the things that I'm most proud of that I've been able to accomplish at 903 Brewers is working with SEDCO. Right whenever we first opened our doors, I saw Texas Instruments got around $800,000 from SEDCO. So I went to them and said, how do I get an $800,000 check? Well, they said, you don't even qualify. So I sold my story. Look, I'm born here. I'm creating this business here. I want to build it, and I need your help. I need you to work with me. And so we worked with SEDCO. We were able to create a grant so that if we qualify, we could get up to $50,000 the first year. We got around $38,000. And if we were able to do it again the second year, we could qualify for another $50,000. And I think in the 2 years, we reached just a little under $80,000. One of the things that I did was they told me no. I sat down with them and I worked with them. with the loss of Texas Instruments in, the next 3 years, my father-in-law worked there for 40 years. That is going to be a big piece of our community that is gone. And I realize that a lot of these jobs are going to be heading towards Dallas, but we've got to be able to fill that building. And, what we've got to do is work with our local economics. The county plays a huge part in that, and sitting down, sitting at the table and finding what we can do, not just to create jobs, but create jobs that pay $20 an hour, $30 an hour, $40 an hour jobs. They're going to be here for long term. We need to find that next Texas Instruments. And one of the things about me is I'm so passionate. I have that energy to sit at that table and work with our economic developers, and the county commissioners need to be playing a huge role in getting that building.
Grayson County does not have a dedicated revenue stream that goes towards economic development. Our only tools in the toolbox have to do with participating with cities on tax abatements or in reinvestment zones. And those are something we routinely do with the city. We are great partners with them. I have met at the request of SEDCO with prospects in the past leading up to some of their decisions, including Finisar and Global Tech. I've met with DDA because once you're a commissioner, you're not just the commissioner of your precinct. You're a commissioner of the county. And so Denison Development Alliance, I met with Reese Foods, was planning on their move and their expansions. I've just recently, most recently, worked with Van Alstyne on getting the John Deere operation moved from McKinney up to Van Alstyne. So we meet with them regularly and support them. They come with asks, and we have policies in place to do it. If you a reinvestment zone is the same as the tools that are used for things like where TMC Hospital is and growth is going on around that. A dedicated area of it's geographically defined where portions of that revenue coming from future taxes can go towards the infrastructure that commands that are there. So we've done it on both sides of 691 up there. We've down in Sherman, we've got it on both sides on the south side of 14, 17, and 75, with where Schulman's is now, and where the medical complex and Quick Trip and that kind of thing are going on that side. So these are things the city comes to us, they ask for our support on these projects. There's some really exciting projects coming down the line that are not finalized, but I think the public is going to find them to be really rewarding. And we are already working with SEDCO to market a TI building to people in the semiconductor industry.
Thank you. Mr. Roberts, 1 minute for rebuttal.
Okay, we can go on to the next question.
All right. Mr. Whitmire, we'll start with you for the next question then. Under what circumstances would you consider raising the tax rate?
My goal every year is to set a rate where current taxpayers do not see an increase in their bill to the county greater than that of inflation. And in most cases, we do keep it lower than that. If our taxpayers are not making more money, then I shouldn't be asking them for more money. We will be having growth, and we will have to figure out how to fund that growth. And in most cases, we're going to be relying on those new properties and new taxpayers to be funding that. That means that in the future, for some of the major capital projects that we will probably have to go and consider bonding those issues. That is just like getting a mortgage that is spreading that cost of that capital project over a reasonable period of time. That being said, I can't imagine any reason I would raise the tax.
Mr. Roberts, 2 minutes to you.
Go ahead and repeat the question again.
Under what circumstances would you consider raising the tax rate?
Well, look, I'm a small business owner. I'm a father of two. I already feel that I pay too much money in taxes. I agree with Jeff. If elected, it is our job to continue to lower the tax rate. But one of the things that I've been talking about in the other debates is we have to invest in the future. We all know if you've shopped or tried to build anything right now, it is very expensive. It is very expensive. That cost is going to continue to go up and up and up. As a father of two, I have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. That is the reason why I'm running for county commissioner. It is important that we start investing in the future. It doesn't start tomorrow. It starts today. We've got to invest in our infrastructure. We've got to invest in our roads. We've got to invest in our jail. And if we don't, if we keep kicking that can down the road, it's not fair to the next generation and the generation after that. You know, it's a really tough decision to sit there and say, you know, we're going to have to raise taxes, because I live here too. I don't want to pay any more taxes. I don't think anybody in this room wants to pay any more taxes, but it's very, very, very crucial. It's very important that we invest in our future. And that is the exact reason why I'm running for county commissioner.
Mr. Whitmire, 1 minute for rebuttal.
Well, as I've stated in my answer,
You don't have to if you don't want to. It's totally fine.
I don't plan on, I don't foresee any circumstances where I would raise the tax rate.
Mr. Robertson, we'll start with you for the next question. What do you think of term limits for county elected officials?
You know, if the president of the United States can only be president for 8 years, I think that every position should only be available for 8 years. You know, it's very important. You know, one of the things that whenever I announced that I was running for county commissioner, people looked me in the eyes and said, Jeremy, you're not going to be able to win. And so I pulled out my card and I said, right there's my phone number. Text me that every day, because that is exactly what drives me and inspires me, is somebody telling me I can't do it. Am I right, Natalie? You want to get me something to do? You tell me I can't do it. Here's the problem that I have. Once somebody gets elected in office, it's hard to beat an incumbent. But the thing about it is we're holding back fresh, new ideas, new ways of thinking, because things change. I mean, I've replaced myself in the brewery multiple times because I've hired smarter people, brought in better people more qualified than me, that I've basically put myself out of a job at a brewery. It's important that we are able to get those fresh ideas, not allow people to get in the office and become career politicians. That's the problem that's happening in Washington, D.C. That's the problem that we all talk about on a daily basis. Why do we allow that to happen in our county government? It's important. It's important that we start with term limits. I will make this promise to this, and you can hold me to it. There's a Bible, I will swear on it. If I am elected as county commissioner, I'm only serving 2 terms. 8 years is long enough, and it's time for the next person with fresher, better ideas than me to help take our county to the next level.
County elected offices are established by the Texas Constitution. Term limits for an elective office would require a constitutional amendment. This is the same way whether you're talking about a county commissioner or a state rep or a state senator or a judge. You can even take it to a federal level. There are no term limits for senators or U.S. reps. But in the real world, I believe we do have term limits. And we're in that process right now. It's called an election, and it lets the citizens of your particular area decide whether they've had enough or if they want you to stay. That's this process. And I think it works, and it's worked for well over 200 years.
Mr. Roberts, any response?
I know that.
We have a question from the audience for both of you. Mr. Whitmire, you can do something. How have you supported the Grayson County Republican Party in the past?
Well, I regularly, support them both through attendance at various functions and rallies, as well as donations. I go out and support the other local races that are out there, as well as our state races. I've got very good relationships with those folks. I've said the other night that my first vote, as far as the presidential race, was for Ronald Reagan's first election, and to my knowledge, I've never voted anything but a Republican candidate since that time, until that was in the 1980 elections. I'm pretty solidly in support of the Republican Party, both locally and nationally.
Mr. Roberts, same question to you.
Go ahead, ask again.
How have you supported the Grayson County Republican Party in the past?
So as 903 Brewers, we've supported a lot of candidates by donating a beer, supporting them, allowing them to use our facility. But Joe Brown, who I've gone to church with, is one of the best district attorneys that we've ever had. I respect that man. I helped drive him around. I encouraged him. I supported him. I endorsed him. Sheriff Tom Watt, who is the best sheriff that we've ever had in Grayson County. Man, I supported him. I encouraged people to get out and vote for Sheriff Watt, and I'm so glad to have him as a sheriff. We're so much more protected through Sheriff Watt. But I said this the other day, and I'm going to say this again. It is our job to inspire and encourage that next generation. You know, we're at a very tough point in our country right now. And, you know, somebody talked about the other day that they're worried about everybody from California moving here and converting to Texas. I'm going to tell you, the people that are leaving California, the majority of them I talk to are leaving for a reason. But it's your children, it's your grandchildren that are tired of it. They feel that they're left out. They feel that the Republican Party left them out to dry. I'm telling you, it is our job to inspire and encourage the next generation. That is another reason that I'm running for office, is because we need more of the fresh, young ideas in the Republican Party. Because what's going to happen in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you're going to turn around and look, and it's not going to be what you worked so hard for. Barbara, you worked your tail off. And if I'm telling you, if we don't inspire and encourage, get more young people involved, and how we do that, that's a question that we're all going to have to figure out. But it's all of our job to continue with that so that we can continue to keep Texas a Republican state for many more years to come.
Mr. Mayor. Another question for the audience, and this one is specifically for you, Taylor. Is it a conflict of interest for multiple commissioners and the county judge to share campaign staff?
We do not share. I have no campaign staff. The only thing I've done is hire a marketing company that handles my mailers and social media. Other than that, my wife and I, and some of these guys right back here that showed up tonight, handle everything. I go out and I contact people for places to put signs. We go out and put them up ourselves on places that most of the places I got. This is the kind of, I had both of my last 2 campaigns in the same locations. So those are some orders of mine. That's it.
Mr. Roberts, anything on campaign staff? Mr. Roberts, this one for you. Should county commissioner be considered a full-time job?
Absolutely. You know, being self-employed for the last 20 years, I've said this over and over, Natalie and I don't sleep. We continue to work. Being a county commissioner, basically self-employed, because there is no sleep. You are going to continue to work. You're going to get those phone calls at 2 in the morning to say that there's a tree down, a tornado blew through here. You know, one of the things that I committed as if elected for county commissioner is I wouldn't take office until January 1st, 2021. If I woke up that next morning, March 4th, 2020, I'm going to hit the ground running at that point. I've already visited with my team at 903 Brewers. You know, a few of them weren't happy with it, that I've started to step back on my role there. But I will focus solely on that position, being the Grayson County Commissioner for Precinct 1, and focus 110% of my time, because that's what this job is, it's a full-time job.
Same question to you, Mr.
I absolutely treat this as a full-time job. You are on call 24/7 and ready to respond to the public needs. Almost as importantly, though, is the public pays us about $80,000 a year, plus insurance and benefits. I think that qualifies as full-time pay, and the public deserves to have a full-time commissioner.
Thank you. Unless there is any further questions, then I would like to thank our candidates. I'd like to introduce our 2 candidates for Precinct 3. Phyllis James is the Commissioner for Precinct 3. Before being elected to that post, she ran a construction company that focused on residential and commercial properties. Colby Meals is challenging for the position of Grayson County Commissioner in Precinct 3. He is a native of Western Grayson County who worked in upper management of several retailers before returning to Whitesboro and working as realtor, broker, and owner of his own realty business. Please welcome Phyllis James and Colby Mills. We will start again with 2 minutes for introductions. If our incumbent would like to lead us.
I'm Phyllis James. I'm the Grayson County Commissioner of Precinct 3. It's an honor to serve the citizens of Grayson County, and I will continue to do so. It's been my passion. I think everybody in this room knows that. I devote all my days to this. My family knows I devote all my days and all my nights. I introduced myself the other night as a strong, conservative Christian, which makes me a Republican, carries a gun. Yeah. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. I especially want to thank my family that's here tonight. I couldn't do it without them. I mean, they are my support. They are my campaign group, and I love them dearly. Family's important. But I want to talk about, 3 of the things that I think are most important right now. It's sort of my priorities. Keeping people safe is huge, and I'm a big proponent of our sheriff's office. I have worked really hard to give them the manpower and the tools and the equipment that they need to do a good job, because at the end of the day, we just want to be safe. We just want to be secure in our homes. We want to know that when we pick up that phone and dial 911, that ambulance and that fire truck and that police officer is going to be there. And so that's huge for me. I also am very pleased that for the last 5 years, we've lowered the tax rate in Grayson County by 15%. It is at 0.4191. When I took office, it was at 0.4999. That's a huge accomplishment that we as a Commissioners Court have accomplished. And we've talked a lot tonight. You're going to hear a lot of the same things about economic development. I've got the Grayson Parkway coming to my precinct, which is the future tollway. We want to talk about economic development. And that's the starter, that's the initiative. If you look at Frisco and Prosper and Salina, it's coming our way. And I'm so grateful to be a part of that, because it is about the future. It is about those grandkids that are sitting back there every night supporting me. It is about the young people. And I am proactive in making sure that that happens in Grayson County.
Good evening. My name is Colby Mills. I want to first say thank you to everybody that has come out tonight, and thank you to the Herald Democrat for putting this forum on. As stated, my name is Colby Mills. I am from Western Grayson County. I was born and raised in Whitesboro. I've lived there my whole life. My parents, they were born and raised there, and they are here tonight as well, so thank you for being here. My grandparents, they weren't born and raised there, but they got there to Whitesboro as quick as they could. After I graduated in Whitesboro in May of 2000, and after graduation, I attended Tarleton State University. One of the best things that ever happened to me happened at Tarleton State, and that's where I met my beautiful bride, Rebecca. Many of you know her. Many of you know how caring and loving she is. She has been by my side through thick and thin, through ups and downs. She's nothing short of a saint. I wouldn't be the man I am today without her. So thank you for all of your love and support. We have 6 beautiful kids. That's not a mistake. 6 beautiful kids. They range in age from fixing to be 12 years old to just turned 3 months old this past Monday. We have 5 handsome sons and 1 little girl who has wrapped her daddy around her finger, and I'm in trouble. I moved back to Whitesboro in 2009, where I have been living there. We've been raising our family. We've been involved in various political groups. I opened my business, Legacy Point Realty and Legacy Point Property Management, and I'm excited to run for County Commissioner for Precinct 3. Thank you. Let's start with one of the single audience questions from before. Ms. James, you can lead us off. How have you supported the Grayson County Republican Party?
Well, I've always been Republican. I think most people that know me know that. And I stated the other night at the other forum, have you read the Republican platform? Anybody in here read the Republican platform? It's what we stand for. And so I'm Republican through and through. I work really hard to keep Texas red. I have helped many people in elections. I have served as the president of the Grayson County Republican Women. I have supported financially and other ways candidates. I will always be a Republican. I can't imagine anybody being anything else. So, but anyway, you know, and raising up my grandsons along with their parents, you know, we talk a lot about that. We talk about what we believe. We talk about what we stand for. You know, we're pro-life. We believe we ought to be able to carry firearms. I mean, all the things that the Republicans believe in. We put God first. You know, God should be first every way. And we're allowing the minority to take God out of our schools, out of our public buildings. I mean, it's time for us to stand up, guys. It's time for us to stand up, be the strong Republicans that we should be, and not sit back and let somebody take advantage of that. So I'll always fight to keep Texas red. Thank you.
So I have been a Republican all my life as well. I agree. I can't imagine being anything other than Republican. I'm currently serving my second term as a Whitesboro City Councilman. I've helped different candidates throughout the years. I've door knocked, I've made phone calls, I've been there to support them. Yes, the Republican Party is, in my belief, the best party. We do believe in the rights to pro-life, to carry firearms. I too carry. I mean, that's one of the best things about it, you know. Yeah, everybody's good tonight. So, you know, one of the things that this whole process of running for an office, a lot of people sometimes think that you have issues or you can't agree on certain things, and that's not necessarily always the case. I agree that we are Republicans here tonight, and we believe in the same platform. That's the great thing about all this. And so, yes, I've been a lifelong Republican, and I continue to be that way. And one of the questions that we were asked the other night at the Monday Night Forum, if I don't win, will I continue to support the Republican Party? And that's a resounding yes. It's greater than just me. It's greater than just this county. It's greater than just this state. It's for this nation. That's what makes this nation great. Thank you. Returning to this question of growth, Mr. Mills, you can do this after. For you, what role should the county commissioners be playing in local economic development? So, just like Mr. Whitmire said earlier, there's not a dedicated economic development board for the county. The county commissioners, they do need to be involved with the local municipalities and supporting those economic development boards. That's the driver. These municipalities attracting business. One of the best ways to do that is to be able to provide tax incentives, tax abatements. We also want to make sure that we have a good job or a good workforce to be able to choose from. The businesses, when they come to Grayson County, they want to see that we have qualified people. And so that's the role that the county commissioner should play in, is in local support of those economic boards. I've had the pleasure of sitting on the Whitesboro Economic and Industrial Development boards and see the efforts that it takes to attract businesses. It's not easy. They have a lot of options, and we want to make sure that the cities in and around Grayson County are the most attractive to drive those businesses to our area. Same question.
Well, way before I took office, the Grayson County Commissioners Court was designated as an economic board. Those 5 individuals form an economic board for the unincorporated areas of the county. Now, we work very closely with SEDCO and DDA and all the different, economic boards. We do work with those, and I think Mr. Whitmire talked about the tools that we do have in the tool chest, which are actually the TERS and tax abatements. But as an economic board, these 5 commissioners, we have a real challenge, because in the legislature this past session, they determined that you could no longer force annex. Okay, so the cities now can no longer go out and force annex, which is going to make our cities stay smaller and our unincorporated areas stay larger. So it will be our main goal in the unincorporated areas of this great, large, beautiful county that we have to work really hard for economic development. The problems we have is infrastructure. And the main problem we have in the southern part of the county is how to get water to that area. We have several muds down that way. If you don't know what that is, that's a municipal utility district. If you build a house in there, you're going to pay higher taxes because you're going to pay that tax, and that's a shame that that has to happen. So I've been working real hard with developers through a public, maybe possible public, partnership with our governments to try to bring that water to southern Grayson County. The water's available. There's no pipeline to get it there. And until we get that pipeline there, it's going to be really hard for the unincorporated areas to develop. Residential, we've got rooftops coming in all 4 precincts, but what we need is businesses. And so that's my goal, is to work really hard as the economic board that I sit on to do just that. Thank you.
Mr. Hill, is anything you'd like to add in response?
No, sir.
Sticking with our incumbent then, what do you think of term limits for county elected officials?
I'm so glad you got this question. I'm going to talk about 2 men, okay, that most of you in this room know. Horace Groff. Horace Groff was the county judge from 1979 to 1987. That's 9 years. In the early part of his 3rd term, he decided to go to Austin, North Carolina. Didn't enjoy that. He came right back. In 1991, he was elected county judge for the 2nd time. He served 12 years and he stepped down. He ran for office today. Probably be elected. I want to talk about Ralph Hall. Everybody in this room knows Ralph. Ralph Hall was a county judge in Rockwall County for 12 years. He decided to go to Washington, D.C. And he served faithfully for 34 years. He served us in Grayson County faithfully. When I was elected, he was the representative. And there wasn't a year that went by that he didn't help Grayson County accomplish great things. He was always here. He was at events, and he helped us. So with those 2 gentlemen, I'm going to say I oppose term limits, because you know what? When you have term limits, that takes it out of your hands. Because if we're not doing a good job, you are not going to elect us. And if we're still passionate and doing a good job, then we'll be reelected. Now, there are some people in Washington, D.C., and we won't call that party name, but I don't care. And we would all like to have them not serve maybe so many terms. But you know what? The state or the area they represent their people. And their people keep electing them and sending them to do that job. So just because here we don't agree with that, their people agree with them, and they keep sending them to do the job. So I highly oppose term limits.
So I believe that term limits are a good thing. I don't have an answer as to how long those term limits should be. I do think that having somebody, I think the record, if I remember correctly, for the Senate, for the federal government was 59 years, which is just entirely too long. I can't imagine. I'll go on record, I have no intention of running for county commission for 59 years, but I think that it's good to have a change every once in a while in elected officials. It does allow for people with new and fresh ideas to come and serve. I personally don't believe that politics should be a career. I don't think it's a lifelong career. I know that there are some people that disagree with that and have different stances, and that's perfectly fine. I just don't believe in that. I think that we do have a term limit for our president. I do believe that we should have it at the federal level, and we should have it at the state level. Now, at the county level, we're an arm of the state government, so we don't have the authority as commissioners to do that. It does have to be voted on and approved by the citizens of the state. And there have been states across the nation that have done that and support it. If you don't know, early voting has already started. It started yesterday. But if you've been to the polls and you voted on the Republican ballot, you're going to see that question on there. Should the state legislature be limited to term limits? I don't remember exactly. I think it was 2 terms, 2 6-year terms for the Senate, and 6 2-year terms for the House. That's starting to creep into the Republican Party because I believe a lot of people want to see a gradual turnover occasionally in our elected officials.
No, sir.
Next question will start with you then, Mr. Mills. Under what circumstances would you consider raising the tax rate?
So
I don't believe raising taxes is ever the first priority. Also, I'm not going to stand up here and tell you that under any circumstances I would never raise taxes, and anybody else that does, I would question it. We are required by law, the county is required by law to provide basic services to the citizens. And they do that, the way they do that is through taxes. That's the sole way that the county government provides these services. So before raising taxes, I would take a look at the budget. What are we spending our money on? I would make sure that we are not spending our money on things that are not necessarily needed. I would also say that during hard economic times, as bad as they are, we have to stop spending. You will never spend your way out of debt. It just won't happen. So the number one priority would be to look at the budget, line by line, question everything, as difficult as that is, and see where we can make cuts. But the next step, I would say we would probably look at issuing bonds. Just like Commissioner Whitmire said earlier, that is a tool that's available for us to be able to pay for large capital improvements over a reasonable amount of time without taking a direct hit in the pocketbook. And then if we've exhausted all opportunities to cut spending and issue bonds, if the unfortunate event is there to have to raise taxes, we would look long and hard before making that tough decision. But raising taxes is never the first thing you go to. It never will be with me and never should be. Thank you. Same question to you, Mr. Hughes?
We have a clock, we have to keep watching, because we're not talking over. I know it's kind of distracting, actually, because I've got a lot more to say, but I'm trying to stay on time here. You know, we have worked so fiscally responsible for the 7 years that I've served in this court that we have an amazing fund balance. And so we are sitting at a great time right here in Grayson County where we have so many new developments, so many new things coming to town that we are fortunate that we have been able to lower the tax rate. I think that trend will continue. But even if it doesn't, I don't think of anything other than public safety that would ever have me vote to raise your tax rate. I want to continue to lower that. We work every year during the budget process, which is our primary responsibility, to make sure that everyone has the services that they require, that they need, and yet we still continue to cut your tax rate. So that is my commitment to you. I will continue to do that.
Any responses to that? Not at this time. For our incumbent, we have a question from the audience. In December, the commissioners bypassed the competitive bid process and awarded a marketing job to the firm who donates political campaign services to all of the commissioners and county judge. Can you explain the rationale behind this decision?
Good question. Everybody.
In December, the commissioners bypassed the competitive bid process and awarded a marketing job to the firm who donates political campaign services to all of the commissioners and county judge. Can you please explain the rationale behind this decision?
Absolutely. And we did not bypass the competitive bidding process. So our purchasing agent who handles this for us actually sent the RFP out, and we had people send it in. We interviewed. It was a group of people other than the commissioner's court that interviewed these people. And the interviews did not go satisfactory. So we go back, we send it back out, we redo the RFP. We don't. Actually, the purchasing agent is the one that does this, okay? Because in government, certain people do certain things, okay? They have the authority for that. They have that job responsibility. So Jody Platt, our purchasing agent, she rewarded it. She sent it right back out. The interview process went through again. All the people that interviewed, questions were asked, and the answers were not there. Actually, I asked one question. I was on the board and I said, okay, for that line item, in the marketing business, so for that line item, how much radio time do I get? If I'm in business and marketing, I could quote that just like that. She looked at me and she said, I don't know. So the answers were not what we wanted. We wanted boots on the ground effort for the census. That's huge. You don't even get me started on the census because I only got 35 seconds here. But so after you've done that twice, after you go through the process, and after you've interviewed, then you no longer have to go out for competitive bidding. The third time, you can actually hire anybody at any one time. And that's the law.
I would like to hear a little more on the census. Can we get 2 more minutes on the clock?
Oh, I mean, I could talk for 30 more minutes.
Just two.
Okay, we've got a census coming up, and I'll talk really, really fast here, okay? And I used to think that was just numbers, and it's not just numbers. We were 9,000 short in 2010, and that number amounts to about $1,500 to $2,000 a head of federal and state money that we will not get, which is for Homeland Security, which is for text dollars. I mean, it just filters down. I could go on and on and on. If we don't get an accurate count of that census, it's going to affect Grayson County for 10 years. Everybody must be counted. And so we're working really, really hard that those 9,000 that we didn't get counted last time get counted this time. And people are always saying, I just don't want to know anything about them. Well, get on Facebook or get on your internet, look for a pair of shoes, and the next 5 seconds, you're showing you those shoes. They know everything about you. I'm going to tell you that. But here's the deal. Once the numbers are sent to the President of the United States, the census is sealed for 72 years. Now, let me just say, in 72 years, you're not going to care that anybody knows where you live or what you were doing. Okay? And Judge Phillips sitting back there, who's a huge proponent of the census, he said he couldn't wait till the 1940 census was open, which was the last one that was open, where you could go see where his grandmother lived. So these people into Ancestry.com, they can't wait for the census to be open. So I'm just telling you, when you get that packet in the mail, and this is an advertisement for the census, please fill it out. Grayson County needs it for the funding to do the things that we need to do here in Grayson County.
As a historian, I will also endorse the fact that no issues here. A quick public service announcement to wrap up. Thank you to both our candidates. I would like to introduce our candidates for constable. Bob Douglas became the constable in Precinct 4 in 2008. Before winning that position, he worked at the Grayson County Sheriff's Office from 1984 until 2005 when he retired. Daniel Moores is seeking the position of constable in Precinct 4. He has 10 years in law enforcement experience, including service in the Tom Dean and Bells Police Departments and the Grayson County Sheriff's Office. Please welcome Bob Douglas and Daniel. You take 2 minutes for introductions.
My name is Bob Douglas. I'm currently Constable Precinct 4 of Grayson County in the southeast corner of Grayson County. I was born in Crestview, Florida in 1948. My dad was a master sergeant in the United States Air Force, at Naval Air Force Base. He moved me back here in 1959. I went to school, graduated in 1968. Moved to Dallas for about 8 years. Went overseas as a civilian contractor for 2 years. Came back to Grayson County in 1980. Went to work for Van Alstyne Police Department in 1983. Went through Texoma Regional Police Academy in 1984. Applied and was accepted to Grayson County Sheriff's Office in 1984. Stayed there until 2005. Retired. Went to work for Howell Police Department for 3 years. And I thought, well, I'll just run for constable. I think I'll try that. And was elected in 2008. Took office in 2009. It's about like Constable Carter said one ago. I never thought I would be doing some of the things I do. If you get a guardianship, there's a process for that. If you get an eviction, there's a process for that. And you have to stay on it personally. You may be handling families with kids. You may be handling families with older people. And it's just a process. If you come back, or if they come back and they get a good possession, then you have to go back and make another trip to that same house. But it's to explain to those people, take them out of the house. That's not one of the best things you can do, but it's part of the process. I do my job.
My name is Danny Morris. I really don't want to tell you where I was born. Don't hold it against me. Durant, Oklahoma. I've been raised in Texas all my life, mainly around White Rock. I went to school in White Rock, attended middle school in Denison, went back to White Rock here in high school. Attended Grayson County College in the Academy in 2000. Also attended Grayson County College in the Criminal Justice Program in 2007. I didn't get my degree. Degree. I got some college credit hours and stuff like that. Want to go back and get a degree. Just get swerved sometimes. I started off in Tom Bean. I worked there for 3.5 years, from 2008 to 2011. I was offered a sergeant's position straight up in Bells, and I took the sergeant's position in 2011 and worked there as a sergeant, rebuilding that department from 2011 to 2014. In December of 2014, I went to the sheriff's office, worked there under Sheriff Gary, and then Tom Watt left the sheriff's office in April of 2017. And I haven't done, then I went to White Rock. I did a year stint there. And then I'm not currently working in law enforcement right now. My license is currently active. It's good. I've got all my college credit hours and everything, TCO hours. I carry some certificates. I got mental health peace officer from FEMA. This almost sounds repetitive from last night. I'm running against Bob for the constable position because I believe that I've got more to offer right now. In the first time, if elected.
This question is for both of you. Can you tell us a little bit about both your experience with law enforcement and also how that experience has shaped your view of the role of the constable?
When I was growing up in Ben Holstein, I always admired the constable and the police chief. And it was like, that's what I need to do when I get older. After going around the world a couple of times, it was like, I don't know who these people are that like communism or socialism. Go over there and live in it for a couple of years and come back and tell me how good you like that. It's not where I want to do it. I like it right here. Law enforcement has shaped my opinion about public duty. It has given me the opportunity to serve the public. And where I grew up down in Austin, I still attend the same church I did when I was 10 years old. I help in that church. I know the people in that church. I love the people in Austin. It's my home. And it's an opportunity being a constable to be able to serve them and help them to understand some of the things that goes on. I enjoy being a constable also because it has helped me. My kids grew up down there. My oldest daughter is in North Africa right now as a missionary. She's coming back here. I have 6 children. We have 13 grandchildren between us. It's an opportunity to give back to the community and to help them understand just what it is in law enforcement that makes it tick, makes it work.
Thank you. Same question to you, Mr. Mills. How has your experience in law enforcement shaped your view of the role of the constable?
You know, being in law enforcement, it's the same. It's basically the same as being, you know, a constable. I mean, you still deal with civil issues, even as a municipal officer or as a deputy, you still deal with civil issues. In the constable's role, he's a civil officer that has the opportunity to also be criminal, work the criminal side of law enforcement. If they choose to, it's up to them. You know, most constables choose to do just the civil side and serve subpoenas, writs, warrants. They can choose to do that, or they can also choose to also work the criminal side, back up other agencies, and assist in other things, motorist assist, traffic, everything. So my law enforcement experience, I had the experience to be a constable. Even in law enforcement, we still take civil classes and do everything that a constable would do. It's just not as concentrated as it is in that role. An officer's role is not as concentrated as a constable's role in civil. They're more criminal. But the reason why I want to be the constable is because I want to take it just from the civil side also to the criminal side. You know, I want to go to these schools where we don't have ISD police and walk the hallways and shake the hands with the kids and the teachers, because half the people you talk to, what's a constable? Who's the constable? It shouldn't be like that. It should be a uniformed office. When I say Grayson County Sheriff's Office and deputies, everybody knows right from the start what it is. Well, when you say constable, you should think Grayson County Sheriff's Office, deputies, you should think the same thing. That's a uniform office that covers multiple cities within its precinct.
On this topic of moving things forward, Mr. Mills, you can do this after this. What changes do you think might benefit the Office of Constable in the next 4 years?
Well, you know, one, the vehicle. It's a Ford F-150, no back seat. Looks like a postal vehicle. It should be uniform for the office. It should actually state Grayson County Precinct 4 Constable on it. That way people know that you're the constable. And that if you see something on the streets, you're not having to call another agency to take this person, transport them to jail for you. You should be able to transport them yourself and be able to handle that call or that issue that you within your presence and you as an officer. And again, back to the school thing, opening up these doors to these elementary kids walking the hallways to the middle school and high school. And I know starting off with one constable, you'd have to juggle each school, but I'm willing to do that. Then you've got people that are broken down on the side of the road, motorist assist. You don't have to serve papers at all, but I mean, you can stop and assist with motorist assist. You can stop and assist other agencies, back them up. The other night, there was an incident, I believe, in Van Alstyne, where it took Grayson County's Sheriff's Office a while to respond to. It was basically a hostage situation. And if you've got more constables in the area, even starting off with deputy reserves that come out and work on their own free time, that don't cost anything, they could have responded to that call because they've been closer to the area. And that, you know, why? I mean, I'd rather have something and not need it than need it and have it. Yeah.
Thank you. Same question to you, Mr. Mills.
My pickup does have constable down the side. If you look at it, it says that. I do arrest people, I put them in the front seat with me and handcuff them in and put them in the belt. I bring them to the Grayson County Jail. I put them in jail. I have told the dispatch at Grayson County Sheriff's Office, if you get a call in my area, call me. Tell me. I have backed the sheriff's office up in calls that are man with a gun, in calls that are domestic disturbance, which is the most dangerous call you can get. Because if you arrest one person, then the other person is on your back trying to get you locked in. Don't take him to jail. I love him. He loves me. That's why he beats me. Okay? I am a master peace officer. I have served my time. I have paid my dues. And I appreciate everything that the sheriff's office does. I'll even come up and serve Constable Carter's papers if he asks me. I'll even go to Denison and serve his papers. I'll even go to Whitesboro and serve his papers. It's all part of the day. It may start off at 6 o'clock in the morning, but it may not end until 11 o'clock at night. That's why a constable is a full-time job. It takes spreading yourself real thin sometimes. And then you run into the people that you already know. And you try to help them to understand, why does the law operate like this? Because it's the law. They give me a job to do, and I do it with pride. And if I find somebody on the side of the road with a flat tire, in my toolbox in the back, there is a jack, there is a 4-way wrench, and I have got out and changed tires on the side of the road. That's part of the thing. Any responses?
Well, yeah, there is. I do agree that you have constable written on the side of the pole. It's in both brackets. It's in both brackets. I'm talking about big, bold letters that stand out and say constable precinct 4.
If you look at it, it says that. And I had a 17-year-old girl pass me in a no passing zone. Because she said, and I stopped her and she said, "Where'd you come from?" I said, "Well, you just passed me back there in that no passing zone." But the reason I stopped you is because you passed me in no passing zone. And I wrote a citation. So have a nice day, man.
With that in mind, make sure nobody parks on the way out. And thanks to both our candidates. Oh. You can answer more questions if you want. All right. With that, I would like to ask for another round of applause for all our candidates. Thank you all so much for coming. And as a reminder, early voting is open, so vote early. Don't vote often. Vote early. Thank you very much.